Okay, the stream has started. All right, so we have Legend 007 and Kaz Kamal as Red Yellow versus Mr. Wish and Dream Conqueror as Blue Green. This is match E in the knockout phase of the four-player chess world championship for teams. So Kaz Kamal and Legend 007 qualified by winning Arena 5, and Mr. Wish and Dream Conqueror qualified by virtue of being high on the leaderboard. I have with me Matten in a voice chat
Hello.
who can provide much better insights than I can for what's going on here.
Mhm.
Looks like yellow and blue have gotten their queens out early. Red and green have been developing other pieces. So green has his light squared queen line open, and red has the dark squared queen line open.
As
This
is usual, yeah. I would say out of the two teams, I would probably say that blue-green are the favorites to win this. But red-yellow is also very strong. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see who's gonna take it here.
yeah, for sure.
So far, not one of the more common openings. I would say this is more of an offbeat opening, really. E4, bishop e2 is standard in some in some classic lines, but in modern or new standard, it's not as common.
And this is basically the Omatomic setting. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the blue green king and queen are switched, which is why everyone's pushing the king's pawn.
Yeah, so the
And
queen
blue green
is
don't have
always to the left
always on the
of the
left. Yeah,
king from the
that's
perspective
the yeah.
of that player.
Yes, exactly. Before it was always on the dark square for all players, and now that it's on the light square for blue green, you don't have a way to hang it on move one. So you can't like accidentally get a queen loss or a checkmate on one like that. But instead you get a lot of other possible checkmates on move two, so
Yep.
it's still
Yeah, if the
it's still
green knight
complicated.
weren't there, there would be checkmate for red yellow.
Yeah. Though in that case, blue wouldn't have put the queen on c6, but
Right,
instead
of
of
course.
king threatening yellow. Oh, taking is interesting.
Free pawn. So in teams, pawns are not necessarily as valuable.
Yeah,
So people usually are more greedy for initiative and development
that's
than
correct.
they are for pawns. But when you get to the end
In this
game, sometimes
case,
people regret not taking those free pawns earlier.
yeah, I mean, in this case, it makes sense taking like the 2 pawns on f2 and e4 if you can, because you also get to the red king really quickly,
Yeah.
and the bishop is also hanging, so it's going to be very scary. But a lot of the time, you don't actually want to take the pawns for the two reasons that first, you're wasting a move, and second, you're opening rook lines for the player you've taken the pawn from.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you give them free access to rook development. Yeah,
In
but now here,
in some of the earlier matches I watched, like there would be a queen trade, which when one pair of queens trades, it makes things much less scary for quick mates. But the player that traded their queen, if they're behind in development, it
it's
makes it hard to
painful.
catch up.
Yes,
Because then the player behind in development can't help out if the other two players attack their teammate.
it's always important when you want to trade queens to figure out like which queen you want to trade and also where you want to trade it.
Yeah,
And also to consider like ways that your opponents can like get around and trade another queen instead.
good point.
So
Red trying to figure out how to save the bishop.
Yeah, so bishop f3 is obviously like the
It
most
runs
obvious
into
thing.
queen takes f2, I guess.
That is the issue, but the question is queen takes f2 that big of a threat? Because you're not actually threatening a checkmate.
You're
But
not threatening a checkmate in one, but you're threatening queen g2 and queen takes g2, I guess.
yeah, but g2 is well defended, and yellow can
Yeah.
always check green, so you never get a checkmate. Now, instead, they played this, which
that
I
is
think is a little more
surprising.
sus because you
Yeah.
don't get tempo in green.
Yellow does
This
have a check
should
on
be fine.
green, which might be important later.
Yeah, yellow really needs to come up with something here, I would say.
Oh, I don't like queen f3.
Queen I3 is a bit
I
weird.
think that gets rid of his check on green, and it's important to keep that check or to get some better positional compensation.
Yeah, like your queen is fine as of right now, but like if green just gets a chance, green is going to block the check anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Now,
That
knight
can't be good.
k4.
I mean, isn't that just mate?
I guess it's not because queen to g1 does barely hold, but it's not looking too
Oh,
good.
okay, because the knight covers g2 as well. Well, yeah.
The
Yeah, that
knight
makes
covers
sense.
g2, and importantly, queen g1, queen takes queen g1. Yellow can actually take on g1, but
Yeah.
mean,
So
I
maybe
could.
blue could play bishop to b7, maybe, to get another line on that king.
Well, your queen has to move right now, like
Oh, yeah,
that's blue.
sure.
But I would argue that taking is actually pretty good, or like at least like not bad, obviously,
Right.
because you always have the knight on k4.
Yeah, that knight on k4 is going to be very valuable.
That's dubious. Yeah, you can't take g2 ever. That would just be hanging. So the question is, do you just move your queen away? And yeah, you can't take. Oh wow.
I think he's planning for the other queen to take e1, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, now green is going to get a check on red with a knight check, and maybe
Oh, that's nice.
queen takes knight is the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that does work out really nicely. Yeah, now you just win.
And blue is going to get the queen, even if it becomes a queen trade.
No, but the threat here is queen takes queen, knight takes, bishop takes, and bishop takes h3 by green. So I think you have to sack on, like yellow has to sack on l8 right now.
Right.
Otherwise, red gets mated because the bishop that just took the queen, like we just captured a queen. Now red has no squares for the king.
Yeah.
So if you trade the queen, knight takes, blue takes with the light square bishop, and then green is gonna take on h3 defending the light square bishop, checkmate.
Oh, that looked way too slow.
Yeah, now it's just mate. Queen takes queen, knight takes bishop takes h3, checkmate. Yeah, and they pre-move it obviously, and that's too late. It's just mate in one. Bishop takes h3, game over.
Yep.
You obviously can't play knight i3 defending the bishop because then you block your own bishop.
Red has realized his mistake.
Yeah. That was some good calculation on queen takes g2.
Okay, so
I guess it was always gonna be dubious. Yeah, like I said, the e4 bishop e2 opening, very offbeat.
can I go to the rematch, or did you want to look at this more?
Oh yeah, no, we should wait. I didn't expect them to in sorry match.
Okay.
All right, we're probably going to see f3 by red, pushing that f pawn. So yeah, what's arrowed by yellow? With the idea being that if blue now plays d8, pushing the pawn in front of the queen 2 squares, which is very standard for yellow, you're actually winning as red yellow in that opening. It's a bit theory heavy, but obviously in this case both teams do know that line, so they're just immediately going to avoid it.
So are they targeting b6 or what's the target here?
Yes. So the point is that if blue pushed d8 there, offering a trade of dark square bishops, yellow would play the same exact queen move we see here, and you're actually threatening to play bishop takes bishop as red, and b6 is going to be a target immediately. Yellow's just going to target b6, red can take it, the king has to move, and then you can take a6 and you take the whole house or checkmate blue. Really depends on what they do.
Okay.
But essentially, you just get a completely crushing position.
I feel like J6 is the best place for the yellow queen. Do you agree? Because you're targeting both b6 and also L6 at the same
You mean
time.
for yellow? Yeah, exactly. That's like what you do in that line. That is exactly where the queen goes. But like now, instead, you should probably just.
Well, now yellow needs to worry about getting mated, I guess.
Not yet. Red always has the bishop check. Never forget about the bishop. Bishop takes.
Oh,
pawn.
okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
However, if you don't defend it correctly, like if you play knight a12, for example, you actually lose a bishop for nothing, because then green is going to target the pawn anyway, with no hanging queens whatsoever. And then you just lose the bishop for no advantage. So you have to defend the pawn on f13 the correct way. Like you have to defend against mate by defending f13 and not h13.
Okay.
By pushing that pawn, which they're arrowing, or just developing the knight. But pushing the pawn is, like, I would assume what you see 99% of the time, because it's just so simple. Like, you just block blue's check also, so if yellow ever gets an attack on green, you never have to worry about that.
Yep.
Oh, f4. Interesting. Well, it does make sense. They just don't want to trade the dark square bishop here. Now you really have to defend the checkmate.
Yep.
Now it's a live threat. The two ways are either queen back, what he's arrowing, or knight to i12.
I don't like queen back. I wouldn't undevelop. I would just get my knight up.
It's fine. Like the queen is really good on this diagonal anyway.
The queen is attacking this pawn, I guess, of the green pawn.
Now you cannot hit the queen, like with your pawn as blue.
Yeah.
And this queen is already on a good diagonal towards blue. You see, like the opening blue played. Now you always have that line towards the king. So
yeah, I guess the queen is well placed, but yellow is very undeveloped.
It's fine. Yellow will just develop now, and at least you have like a solid structure. Whereas you can easily get activity on blue, because blue's queen set is going to be frail in this type of structure.
Okay.
Like the bishop on a9 is the only thing defending b10 here.
So how does yellow develop? Could yellow just like sack a pawn for development? With
yellow's just gonna like get.
Oh, it's just gonna get the knights out. Okay.
Yeah, just slow play, and then at some point you're gonna like move your knights over towards blue, or like whoever is gonna mess up first, essentially. And
so could we see like queen i8 and knight e12, or is or what do you think the plan is for green?
So go again, queen i8 and which
queen i8 and for blue knight e12.
Yeah, that's usually a standard idea. However, in this position, I would say it's probably not good, because yellow is immediately going to take it back. And the problem is, when you do it, you want to do it when the player you're attacking that way has not moved their queen.
Okay.
Because then you force the king to step like to a bad square, whereas if you do it now, the king is just gonna slide over to where the queen was,
Okay.
and it's usually fine. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be fine, but like most of the time it does work. Also, like now red defended it, so you can also do it with the bishop inside. Like, you don't have to use the queen to attack this way. You can usually also use your light square bishop for
Oh,
blue.
this is a good place for the green queen that was arrowed, as it sets up a mate threat on red, and this green knight also can hop in if red is ever busy.
So now we actually see what I mean with blue's position. So the problem is, if you allow yellow to take the knight from blue, blue's position is going to be really awkward because pawn takes and now
And now
c9.
only the queen is guarding c9, you're saying. The queen is tied
Yes.
down. So potentially, I guess he'd have to waste the move developing his bishop. That would give him the rook file long term, but
Yeah, and while you think like, okay, sure, whatever, but at least like I
oh,
have
now he's got
activity.
another piece attacking there.
The other problem is you don't have a good way of activating your light square bishop as blue. So you're never
Yeah.
castling kingside or getting your king out in an easy way, which all comes down to blue usually just being a move behind after red. What you do see a lot of the time is yellow playing this opening. Because with red yellow, you're a tempo ahead, and a lot of the tactics that work for red yellow in this position against blue playing it don't work for blue green against yellow playing it if yellow goes for the opening.
Okay.
Because you're just down a tempo from the start, since red yellow move first.
Hmm.
So I assume we're gonna see another like game with I12 being the first move by yellow, and then we can probably see that opening instead. Here, yeah. Knight takes knight would also be my choice if I hadn't, if I wouldn't think too much about it. E11
It
also
is
seems
his only
reasonable.
developed piece he's trading off, though. And again, then he gets into the problem where
Yeah.
he is underdeveloped.
So E11 does make a lot of sense for that exact reason. You keep your knight, and if knight takes knight, you can pawn takes knight, and then your rook is active. And also now your bishop is nicely opened up, and the red queen is guarding the rook, so you never get like attacked on the diagonal.
Yeah, and now you're starting to take knight takes knight, win a pawn in the process, and develop your bishop. If blue doesn't respond here.
It's actually gonna be very interesting to see if they would like choose knight takes knight or bishop takes knight, sacrificing the bishop for the knight, and arguing that the knight might be better on c11 than the bishop, since you always have the check threat.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to have a check in your back pocket for sure.
But chances are they're actually going to just keep developing, just getting more pieces into the attack while they have the time for it. But we'll see. Yeah. So blue's thinking the
Yeah,
same thing. Maybe they
blue's
find
arrowed this.
bishop takes. Okay, I mean, 96 looks pretty good.
I guess g3 is a juicy square as long as that knight is on h2, preventing the bishop from defending.
Yeah, g3 or f2, it depends. Like,
Right. Well, f2 is covered. I mean, it is a check. A check is always valuable. You can try to
yes,
tempo
like,
red, go
but
after the
the
queen,
idea is like,
but like a free check where you lose nothing is even more valuable.
yeah, like g3 makes sense because you can fork on i2 like immediately after, since the king is forced to g1. Ideally, they're probably gonna try to find a mate even. Okay. queen g6. I believe this is what you were
So-
talking about earlier. Good square for the queen.
So there are no checks for either yellow or red against green or blue. No checks in one move. So
I don't think anyone can check another player.
that is interesting. No checks whatsoever.
Though it does make sense, like all the knights are developed, yeah. So now you're actually covering. The bishop is now defending g3. But if you allow it, green might just get bishop takes h3, bishop takes g4, and that would be bad. So
you could also sack the blue knight, and then green could take k4.
interesting decision. Oh wow,
I
that's
I,
a nice
did,
move.
I don't know why yellow played that pawn move. Can you explain that?
Preventing knight to j11, hitting the queen and attacking
Oh, okay.
I13.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was confused for a second as well, but like if you just like wonder like what
And
could
actually,
possibly go to those guys, yeah.
So
It's
green does have a
situation.
check on yellow. We said before there were no checks, but
Yeah, true.
so
It's a
if the
pretty bad
bishop
check.
takes the bishop back, then g3 becomes a square again.
Oh, that doesn't work. What? Wait a minute. Knight g3, bishop takes bishop, and the bishop is guarding the knight.
Yeah, this seems like a blunder.
Okay, yeah, yellow is going to defend.
But yellow's
by
going to
playing-
tempo the green queen. Looks like.
Yeah, that's good defense. It's still sus.
I
Do
mean,
you win
he could also
material?
play. He could play queen takes the knight.
Yeah.
Queen takes the red knight looks doable as well.
No, I think you should still take the bishop on I1, accept the trade.
Oh, okay.
And then, okay, this I'm not sure.
Well, it's interesting. You get the red rook with.
Oh, it might be
Tempo.
winning, yeah. And the bishop is pinned. Ooh. Yeah, that could be bad.
Okay, so blue is defending the green knight.
Yeah,
In
yellow's
case
gonna
yellow
go
gets
for
any
the
ideas.
attack.
Queen trade
Oh, you're just a
offered.
move behind. Oh,
I think
unlucky.
you still take the rook.
Okay,
Well,
queen
is there
takes
mate?
L8, yeah?
It's not quite mate.
So
He
queen
can take
takes
an
L8,
L8.
any move, queen takes pawn, king over, queen takes M7 is checkmate. So blue has to actually make the move count.
Blue has
So
a
how do
check
you do that?
on red. He can
Take the
also
pawn,
make a check on yellow.
takes only move,
And
king
by the way,
over.
if green is not checked,
Oh,
then
that's
green has
not
checkmate on red.
No,
So
that
that's
doesn't work. That's oh wait, maybe it does work. Okay, king over queen takes f13. Queen takes f13. Yep. Barely escape.
oh
Do you escape?
So you're checking yellow, then we're taking the
have
red
to.
queen.
You
Okay.
have to take. Otherwise, bishop takes knight is checkmate immediately. I
Right.
had to prevent mate 1.
Right. And yellow has a check with his bishop on
Oh, yellow has
F.
a lot of checks here. Like queen check, bishop checks, 2 ways.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's good to get another piece in the mix, though. Maybe not. Maybe queen back is better because then you could take the knight for free.
okay, that knight move makes a little sense. That also makes sense, yeah. You have to check.
Yep.
Only move.
Oh, okay. And red is going to try to pick up the green queen.
And now you should move your king away.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of great squares to move to. Blue is very underdeveloped, but blue can check yellow. So
I would say you should probably go m6, but it's bad. Okay. I mean, knight takes rook. obviously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just lose immediately to queen takes knight.
Yeah.
Queen takes knight.
That was
That's it.
very odd.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I guess they really should have just played bishop takes I1 instead of going for the rook with the queen. Just take the bishop,
Yeah.
red takes the knight, blue defends green, yellow takes, and green takes the pawn, the queen. And the idea is that green has a nice bishop on g3 and the king is tied to h1. But
Yeah,
let's
for
see what
sure.
they do in the rematch. I hope we can see I12 here. Come on. No. Ah, man. Okay, so far 2-1. This might just be the last one. This might be a quick one. But yeah,
Wait,
like I said,
the match score is it 1-1 or what's the match score right
sorry,
now?
2-0, 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
Right? Like, I think Blue Green won both, yeah? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, they won this one. They won here. Yeah, they won both games.
Okay.
So it is 2-0 for Blue Green.
So Mr. Wish and Dream Conqueror have won both games, per se.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they, like I said, they are the favorites in my opinion. So
Yeah, makes sense. So what yellow and red are playing, is this like the classical as far as getting your queens? What do you call this queen opening where we put the queen in front of the king?
I would say that this is a very passive opening,
Okay.
trying to just avoid
But
whatever
there's
you
no
can
particular
avoid.
name for the opening then.
Oh, I don't know opening names, but I don't
Okay.
think there are that many.
Okay.
Like I know that there is the Pegasus opening, um, Radon's pattern there. I think MTK3 came up with the name, and Radon obviously making fun of stuff like that, called it sus. So
Okay. Hey, Spinal
that one
Tap.
is
Thanks for
yellow
watching.
opening.
Spinal
That
Tap.
one is
I'm not playing, but I'm watching and commentating, and I have Matten in the commentary booth with me here.
hello. Yeah, so the Pegasus opening is when yellow does go for like some I pawn push and then H pawn after. Essentially what blue did last game, just as yellow, and some weird moves with the knights, I don't know. But putting the queen like on H2 and G13 is usually what you see from blue-green when they're scared, but it is very solid.
Green
It
doing
does
a
allow you
lot of
to
arrowing. Oh, this pawn move is interesting.
Yeah, so the idea is now red is nicely guarding yellow, and yellow is doing the same thing over on red side. So there are no attacks on the king's pawn, but you did give blue-green 2 moves each to develop for that. So what I assume is likely to happen is that blue-green are going to develop the knights, maybe make some pawn pushes, and then probably offer queen trades all over the place. Trying to get their
Since yellow and red have moved their queens
you're
more
ahead in
time than
development.
blue and green, if they trade their queens, then they have like a developmental advantage from the other pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I would take that as green. So I would take that trade. What? Like, if you just develop the knight, queen takes pawn, pawn takes, queen takes queen, that looks pretty good. But yeah, also blue taking, very reasonable.
So that is going to give red potentially a rook file.
Sort of, because as you can see the arrow, blue can push immediately.
Yeah.
And you also have to deal with J2. Like, that's a threat. I guess in peasant, and then queen takes rook, so you can actually push the pawn. The idea, yeah. So if yellow pushes the pawn hitting green, you could be like, oh, why does green just not take the pawn en passant? And the answer is it's pinned. The yellow queen at the top would be able to take the green rook.
But not anymore.
Yeah, now you moved away, but instead you're attacking blue here, so that makes sense.
Is this so? Bishop takes d7 could be a threat on blue. Blue has to defend his king here.
Bishop takes 7?
The dark squared bishop from red
Oh,
takes
yeah.
takes d7, putting the queen coming in
Yeah,
from
I mean,
yellow.
that is a mate threat with queen takes pawn, but there are two ways to defend. Like, one is that knight move, and the other is just the other knight out. However, moving this knight, I guess it makes sense.
So yellow is pointing out he can threaten the blue rook, it looks like.
Yeah, everyone
But
putting the knights on
instead yellow is gonna put the knight
squares.
further to the center to defend some key squares. There's less of a threat of fast checkmates after the queen trades, though.
I like this guy. I can't understand any of their arrows. They are playing no simple captures. Yeah, that's how high level chess works a lot of the time.
Yeah, and he's referring to Mill has to get in the game chat here.
Yeah, like I said, so blue green offering queen trades because they are ahead in development.
Yep.
It's very close, but after all, a queen trade and endgames usually favor the stronger players anyway.
Yep.
Just more accurate calculation, no accidental mouse slips, tricks, or checkmate hangs.
Put his pressure on J2 like he predicted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should make a queen move here.
So yellow should
Don't
save the
hang
queen,
it.
you're saying? Okay.
No, you should move the queen, like taking it or moving it away. Don't hang it, essentially.
Oh yeah, I see. So he's hidden two things from blue here.
So they did
So
not
this
trade.
green move not only secures the blue knight, it also puts more pressure on J2.
Yep. So knight h2 makes a lot of sense. That way, if bishop takes j2, you take back and then just move your rook away because you're no longer forked or anything.
Yeah.
And your knight moved, so your rook can actually go to j1. But yes, you can also just hit the other knight. And then it actually does get awkward. So I guess queen takes pawn doesn't do much. Because you do have defense.
Yeah, so the green queen can defend the blue bishop.
Yeah, that's a queen trap, right? If queen takes pawn, that's just trapped. Yeah, it would be. I guess you can sacrifice your knight as red, but that's obviously not good. So you need to find a different move here.
Yellow is running a bit low on time.
Well, they really need to find a good move here, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm afraid that doesn't do too much. So they are really struggling to keep up with with blue green's development.
Yeah. Now green has got a rook out. That looks excellent.
Okay, I mean maybe knight e5 helps. Get rid of a knight, get a trade. This does look a slight bit better than before, but it's
So
still
so
not
the
great.
green queen is defending b5, which is hit by the yellow queen and the light
The
squared
green
bishop.
queen also importantly pins yellow's pawn from activating yellow's bishop and hitting the green rook.
Yeah.
So
Multi-purpose
very
move.
multi-purpose.
That undefends b5, but
Yeah,
it's
but it
not
doesn't
not a
matter. Like
problem
you
since
just
it hits the
trade.
queen.
Yeah, like if bishop takes, queen takes, you can always castle or rook over.
Yep.
Or alternatively, like if you trade, there might just be ideas where you move your knight away. If it's no, yellow can never capture first. Never mind then. Never said a thing. Idea being like there are sometimes ways where like blue moves the knight away and then all of a sudden green is actually defending the pawn still. But
Yeah.
the move order doesn't work out in this case. Oh, maybe it would if you don't trade first, if you do it immediately.
So getting this rook to the center of the board. Now the green rook
Yes.
is getting pretty powerful.
That
I
is
I like green's
really
development
annoying.
a lot. So green's queen in blue's territory lets it coordinate with blue's pieces
Oh
pretty
yeah,
well.
what they're arrowing is precisely what I just meant. If the green rook like moves on the light square next to the queen, e8. If blue takes the pawn on f5, then it will be green's move before red to take the rook on e1. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
however, at the same point, like at the same time, you're also hanging your own rook on a4. However, if you do all of that, like yellow wins the blue rook on a4 and green wins the red rook on e1, I would say that heavily favors blue-green because the
Right.
e1 rook is the only thing defending the king, whereas blue can castle and just
Yeah.
say like, okay, your queen on a4, what's it doing on a4? Come on.
Yep. Oh, I like that plan. That seemed like kind of a nothing move from blue. I guess it prevented yellow from pushing the pawn and trading the bishops, or
That or developing the other rook, and maybe you just castle later and everything's defended. Defend d10. That's another thing. If you castle and a queen gets to capture on d10, you have no defense on your king.
yeah,
A lot of games have been lost that way. So the point is, blue has nothing to do right now. Like blue's position, as it is right now, is fine. So you can make a waiting move, just wait for green to keep attacking and cash in whenever it's good for you.
yep. So it's a big time advantage for blue green, which they can
Yes.
use later for calculations.
If they do eventually trade into an endgame, should they do that? It's gonna be nice having that extra time. Oh, yeah, that's
No, that's a
annoying.
very nice move. This yellow queen
Well, I
does
mean, that
not
is her
have
own.
many options at all. And now I can pick up a pawn, hit the rook. Or free knight. Yeah, free knight looks pretty good.
I mean, there's no world in which you can trap the queen here, yeah? Maybe you can.
And blue can even push their pawn and hit the yellow. Well, not anymore. Now I think I would just take that bishop. It does open up the rook potentially, but they're
You gotta
gonna
be careful.
keep them busy.
Knight takes, and then green and yellow are like on the same file here. Okay, step out of the check, that makes sense. Oh,
Oh, that's
that queen move would
clever.
be weird.
Yeah, green could pin the pawn basically.
Yeah, but now knight takes bishop, right? Knight takes bishop and queen takes rook. That was their idea.
Oh,
Now,
move
yellow,
order. Yeah,
yeah,
and
and green's
there's
like,
some
ah,
arrow
shit.
span from green. He miscalculated. This rook
Yep.
can fall.
So, what do they do about that? Awkward.
That is very awkward.
Okay, I mean, it's a rook.
That's
You're
a
still
huge
ahead on
blunder.
development. You're still ahead on development. You still have a better position, I would say, but it was unnecessary.
Yep. I do think the tide is turning though.
Yeah. Red yellow might choose to just cash in, take their extra piece, trade everything they can trade. But you have to be careful. Like, for example, something you could do is if yellow takes the knight right now, yeah, it doesn't work anymore. But like, if blue didn't move there, then queen takes knight for yellow and bishop takes queen for red, and you're just up a
So
rook for nothing.
so
But
he's taken a pawn, threatening a check, since
yes.
the queen is hit by red. This is looking very good for red yellow.
So I assume they're thinking about the two possibilities of just move the queen away or sacrifice the queen for nothing, like take the bishop, take the other bishop.
Yeah.
And play down a queen, but red has no bishops, and yellow only has a light square bishop. And your rook is active. Green can castle, activate the rook really quickly.
Yeah, blue is quickly running out of pieces there. Seems like. I guess so. I guess so is red.
Like, if I were to play this against someone who was like rated 200-300 points below me, I
This
would
is a blunder. Can't red
definitely
just take the knight?
I guess
I guess blue
come
is going to
on.
protect the queen. Okay.
No, but still, it's weird. Maybe you're fine.
I think red should take the knight for sure.
Red should make a move really quick. Yeah.
Whoa, I don't like that move. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think red should have sacked for the knight, and then yellow could decide whether to check or take the queen.
Yeah, move the bishop back is one idea, and then if takes, I think takes could have potentially worked. Yeah, now the issue is they don't have time. So I think what they could have tried is bishop takes pawn, 9 check, and after king takes, you take the red takes the pawn on k5, and yellow can check on g3.
Hmm.
But then green can move the queen back to block, and blue is still covering it, so it's weird. However, now you're just losing material again?
Yeah, this looks really bad for red.
Yeah, you should definitely keep your bishop. Oh, rook takes. Ooh, issue. Oh no.
Yeah. And now, like, k4 could fall.
Okay, that's 2 knights for a rook, and blue-green have activity, so...
Yellow opening
Yeah,
up the
all of a
bishop.
sudden, that pawn push from blue earlier, you see like how that rook cannot develop?
Yeah.
It's
Well, it
annoying.
can develop. It's just it takes an extra tempo with rook takes pawn.
Hmm?
Hey, Justin Davis. Welcome in.
No, what do you mean? No, it can't. Like, my point is that yellow cannot move the d14 rook to d12 and then to
Oh,
e.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I misunderstood which pawn. I thought you were talking about the e4 pawn, but you're talking
Oh, yeah,
about
sorry, no, no.
the
I meant yellow.
c11 pawn.
Yeah, the top left rook,
Yeah,
hard to develop. Because that blue pawn just covers everything. Your
right.
own pawn is blocked. So you probably actually have to like get your bishop and king and other rook out of the way, push that k11 pawn, and develop on that file, which takes a lot of time.
So he's blocking the red check and the green
Oh,
king, I guess. But it's an awkward way to do it. Maybe it was necessary, because if he didn't block it, yellow would have taken the knight and picked up a free piece with that check.
Yellow not having that knight square bishop active is so sad.
Yeah, green does not have many long range pieces right now. He's pretty
So
bunched
what they
up.
were thinking about here, red could move the rook to a4 and you like sort of get on their back rank, but the problem is
Blue could just
blue
castle.
can castle.
Yeah.
Blue can castle, yeah. And that's why they chose not to. It's kind of unfortunate, but
Okay, so now hitting the red rook.
those decisions from blue-green earlier, they are really starting to pay off.
Yeah.
Granted, they got in trouble and they got fairly lucky, but knight f3, knight i3 mate. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, okay, maybe fun. So what JK was pointing out there, if green gets to take on k4 with the knight, for example, and then play knight to i3, so green takes k4 with the knight, which couldn't be captured back until red defended it just now. Then there was the threat of blue going knight to f3 and green going knight to i3 on the same move. And the blue knight is covering g1 and h2. The green knight is giving check, and the green bishop is covering I1, so it would be a checkmate.
Yep.
But immediately after he said it, they did defend k4, so it's not gonna happen.
So the red bishop is defending the yellow bishop. Looks like they're gonna beat up green a bit.
Threat. You gotta be careful here. Rook e1 is a mate threat.
You said rook e1 is a mate threat? Oh, because
Rook E1,
bishop I, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is why they immediately traded the bishop, because if you allow green to take the yellow bishop here, that defense you were talking about would no longer be a good defense.
Okay, blue is sacking a knight to tempo red. What can green do to red in the interim?
That's a good question.
Maybe the bishop is gonna move and try to take the rook on j4, but yellow always has checks on green if it gets.
It's a very good question.
Not.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess they just do it. Like, I mean, you don't have a good check on green, so. Oh, yeah, just defend the knight.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Idea. I was considering like I8, just defend I3, but then yellow does get to take back. It's easiest. They should go, yeah. Go for it. I'm not sure you should play f3 here. Maybe you should go king g2.
If f3, there's another check, and if you move over, there's no checks. Well, no, there's still a check from blue if you move over on f3.
Hmm.
They would like to get a red rook in a
You could
perfect
go
world.
rook to I8. Oh. Bishop K7. That is annoying. That's actually very annoying. Phew. Yeah, how do you deal with that? Oh, push pawn. Maybe that's it. Push your pawn. Oh, maybe that was a miss. Could they have played E10 here, blue? And then green checks?
Now, blue really needs to get his last rook out.
But now you get checked. Like, unless you live this, this is looking kind of sus. Like, maybe you just get away with it, no problem, but how do you really? Oh god, it's unlucky. Oh no. Okay, so
But blue trying to get his rook out.
oh yeah, so yellow was actually looking at the blue bishop from m9, but you never want to take that.
So if the red knight retreats, then it's just checkmate in one
Right now?
with
Wait, sorry.
bishop at m9. This is a little bit tough for green. If he pushes
This
his
is looking really bad for
pawn,
green, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
if he
man.
pushes his pawn to get some loft, which he's done, right now the green guards the knight, but
Oh,
maybe
but he
red can
just,
push his pawn so that he's no longer
yeah.
guarding the knight. I like, ooh, don't like that.
Okay, I mean, same thing. Yeah, they should be fine.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
what? Take the
desperado move
take the rook,
from
take the rook.
blue.
100%. That's a mistake.
That's a
You
huge
should never
mistake.
take off the rook. If yellow gets to recapture on the rook, that's just mate, right? Like there is no move. There is a move. Wait a minute.
Oh, you could recapture with knight, which is what he
King at
did.
9. There's king at 9 though. No, it doesn't matter. Like this is looking very suspicious.
Yeah, it's looking very good. Red, yellow.
Oh, that's mate. Right, the bishop just goes. Oh. Oof.
Wow, nice
Nice
mate.
comeback. Nice comeback.
Hey, Dr. Nightshade. Welcome in.
Okay, it's not mate anymore. Never mind, it is mate.
Okay.
Oh no.
So our score's
What
now
a
2-1,
throw.
is that right?
Score is 2-1 in favor of blue-green. Yes.
Favor of Dream Conqueror and Mr. Wish. Dream Conqueror says, well, we blundered a rook. Yep. Started to go downhill after that. Madness is just in 27 blue, E10.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save yellow's, sorry, green's bishop.
E10, let me see. E10.
Yeah, and then you get bishop check for green. Like that was my idea. Green does the same, yellow does the same thing, and then green can get away with the bishop check on yellow. And you're
Oh,
not taking
okay. That's very interesting. Yeah,
yellow attacks
vacate
blue.
the square for a check on yellow. Wow.
Exactly. And yellow is the one attacking here.
Yeah.
So you save your bishop while also attacking yellow. And then you can still react to their other threats, but you keep your bishop.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's see. Oh, we didn't get I12.
Okay, we do have a rematch here, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
come into the rematch. Let me just
Yeah, again, no I12.
rewind a bit so we can see what's happened.
Kind of unfortunate.
So red yellow have gotten their queens out early. Red yellow are Mr. Wish and Dream Conquer, who are winning 2-1 so far. Dark and Nightshade, I stopped playing 4-player chess because they changed the rules and made it worse. But it's still fun to observe.
What is the score? It's 2-1.
Excuse me.
All right. Okay. So once again, we see the queens developing in a way that's like really passive, but very
By
solid.
blue green. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they did it last game as red yellow. Now they're doing it as blue green. To be fair, it did work out for them last game. So
Yeah, but it worked out for them because their opponents hung a rook. So I don't
well,
know
I
if they'll
mean,
hang a rook every game.
they also got a decent position before. Like their position was fine, then it got progressively worse, then and then it just like got very complicated and they got out of it.
Yeah.
So but to be fair, yeah, they did a pretty good job making it complicated and getting chances there. So creating chances.
So yellow thinking about trading the queens, looks like.
Yeah, obviously, because once again, you have an extra move, might as well.
Yeah.
If you trade here, then your bishop is also active. An extra developing move.
Yeah.
Green has to move the knight and figure might as well defend blue while you're at it. And it's just a good square.
That square's eventually going to be hit by the red bishop.
Maybe. Yeah.
So all the squares blue would want to move to attack red are actually covered by red and yellow.
So the thing is, like, you would like to attack the green knight with that light square bishop from e2, but your knight is in the way. And
Yeah.
where do you want to put the knight?
Good question.
Okay, that's the question. Do you want to put it on h4 like everyone else, or do you go to g1? Obviously, you don't want to go to h2 unless you really have to because you're blocking your bishop.
Legend
Ideally,
already
you would like
going
to
into the
go.
tank here. I don't think this is a good time investment, in my opinion. I think it's too early for this.
Yeah, ideally, red would like to like put the knight on d4, but that's very much protected, so there's no way you can ever get away with that. Definitely not a possibility. But
So red yellow thinking of tempoing the knight and lifting the rook at some point.
yes, this is a really good approach usually for red yellow or like whoever gets to do it. So I do agree with the decision.
Okay, this knight move doesn't threaten a check, but at least it gets the knight
But
to
the
a more
trade would be
aggressive
good.
position. Yeah, it would be
Like
good.
if you get yellow to take with the pawn, that would be great. If you get him to take with the queen, that's fine. If you get him to take with the bishop, that's bad. So another queen trade offer. Reasonable. Can you take it? Wait a minute, can you just take that? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, I guess you also lose your knight over there. Oh, yeah, you really cannot. Okay, that would be bad. Ah, that's rough.
Yeah, there weren't many other options. If he brings the queen back to d8 to try to pin the pawn, then he could just trade the queen another way. Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
but
loses
it's
a
just
knight in the
really
process.
bad. Like they lose so much more than that, I think. It's just not good. Yeah,
Yep.
okay, maybe they just lose a knight. But if they play that queen move they're arrowing, they're losing more.
Yeah.
Oh, unless they sacrifice. That is true. No, but then they
So
still lose more.
what about queen takes I3?
Oh, h3.
I guess green would just eat some stuff up, so never mind.
Yeah, queen takes h3 does make a lot of sense here.
You mean I3 or what do you mean?
Oh, I
H3.
see. I'm talking like right now. If you take the pawn with check, so blue can
Oh, I see.
keep the queen. So yeah, queen takes h3 for green would make sense, and then blue can play queen takes c9. Now you try to defend the queen, but yellow's just gonna take your knight. So okay. So if knight takes pawn takes bishop takes e13, and you actually get to attack yellow. So you just defend red. Yep. I mean, there's no shot that you can play rook a10 here. Rook a10, just queen takes rook. That's certainly losing. Knight g4, queen takes knight, queen takes queen. You're also just losing because queen doesn't have a check or anything. So queen takes knight? Oh, then knight, queen takes queen. Okay, yeah. Good point.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, you cannot take on h4 because yellow is still defending. Because it's green, red moves the knight away, yellow takes. Now, on the other hand, you can interpose. Oh, you cannot. Oh, don't take the knight. Don't take the knight. Oh no. Oh no.
So
That's
red
unfortunate.
interposes to prevent
Yes.
blue's interpose. And now we're likely to see some arrow spam from blue
Bro,
green.
what? Isn't that a free queen?
It is a
It
free
is
queen.
a free queen. Okay, so
So blue potentially now has a check on yellow and red, and does green have a way to attack the queen? I don't
I mean,
see, and
green can play bishop,
green is
yes.
just underdeveloped.
This makes sense. Reasonable move. You try to get the bishop check, attack yellow.
Yeah, but once he gets to a dark square, I think he's relatively safe.
Well, it is your only. Oh, that yeah. See what's green? That green arrow. That's a mate threat.
Oh, getting the knight in. Yeah.
Oh, do you have bishop e13? Wait a second.
Oh,
Bishop takes
that bishop should have taken the knight. If it took the knight, it would defend. Like, much better to take the knight than the rook. I think red got too
Oh, it's
greedy.
already defended. Okay, yeah. Bishop takes knight, then pawn takes, then bishop takes pawn. This makes sense. Oh wow, they're getting an interesting position at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, red is just too active here. I don't think it's gonna work out. Knight f9 is a very good point. Bishop takes c6 is still a threat. And now you just never get mated. There's no mate. Like, knight takes pawn, if it were mate, it would be good, but it's not.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's a really good.
Oh, we see
They get
some
the queen
arrow
back?
spam from red. Did we see?
I mean, it's still winning for red yellow, but you're down the queen.
So, is blue gonna
So the
take the
idea is
pawn here, or what's the?
okay. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's good find. So the idea was that the two ways they saw how red could defend is by playing knight. So they saw the idea was that the rook is gonna pin yellow's bishop and also attack the queen, which is a threat. And they saw that knight to f9 by red would defend the h10 square from the rook. So yellow would move over and then red takes the rook. However, in that case, blue's bishop would now be able to just attack the queen from i5, because the knight wouldn't be blocking. But they found the nice bishop d6 defending h10 instead.
So
While
should
still blocking
yellow
the
get
bishop.
his rook in? Like rook d7.
I mean, yellow can also just take,
Okay.
just.
So now green has a free move on red. I don't think there's much he can do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the problem. You have
Yeah.
no.
Doesn't
You're
really
just
do
getting
anything.
made a one and stop. Oh wait, no, it is stoppable, but like you lose another bishop, so. Oh, it is stoppable. My bad. Other way around. Okay, so queen checking over, queen check. Yeah, already just bishop check. Also good point. Now red will step out of check, and you should be able to make next move.
Or you could just take the bishop. Um,
Yeah,
Maybe
like
it doesn't lead
now
to
you can't.
mate next move, but it's still pretty good.
Now you block check.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
never mind. You just get mate.
Yeah, and that's match, right?
That is it. Red yellow winning 3-1. They gave up. They did not give up. That's give up. That's just a mate.
Yeah, so Dream Conqueror and Mr. Wish win the match 2-1, and they will be progressing. And let's check to see who they're playing against. I think they could be playing against Team A, Rojito and Cha Cha.
Yes. Which will be on the 26th? Yeah, October,
The
Saturday of next week
yeah.
at 0 UTC.
Yep.
And
Technically the 25th, but yeah.
I would say in that match, Mr. Wish and Dream Conqueror will probably also be the favorite again. Though Rojito is probably going to be
Rojito and Cha
better in
Cha
the opening.
are more experienced at free for all than at teams,
Yeah.
but they're still
Yeah, so
very good players. So we'll see.
Rojito is going to take control in the opening, I would say, and Charger is just good at calculating, but
Yeah,
I don't think he knows much theory. Like I spoke with him yesterday, and he didn't know the D8 theory. So as long as Rojito gets him into a good position for the middle game, which I expect he will, then they should be fine. But yeah, I still think that Mr. Wish and Dream Conqueror are just just much better prepared. They play a lot more teams, no more theories. So I would argue they are the favorite, but we shall see. Rohito is not to be underestimated in teams.
For sure. Do you have any suggestions of who we should raid?
Oh, I can check if there's a Twitch. Sorry, let's see. There's the 4PC stream. Well, except for yours.
Yeah, I don't see a 4PC
I
stream.
don't see any. I guess you can just raid whoever you feel like.
Okay, let's.
Serves the
I guess
most.
we'll send the viewers to our friend Hunter Wiz. Thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. And by the way, I guess I should probably shout out Icy Stun because he did a lot of analysis of the previous rounds. And I think he's going to be playing in a later round. So check out Icy Stun's VOD for the last few rounds. So I think he covered rounds certainly B through D. He might have covered A as well. I think he covered A through D, and I just covered round E. Basically the only round he hasn't covered. So check him out. I will try to cover future rounds where there is not coverage. If Icy Stun covers them all, then I might not double cover it. We'll see. Thank you so much to Matten for joining me in commentary.
Yeah, thank you also for streaming this. It's a pleasure having you stream this here, and I hope to see you again.
Yep, for sure. All right, have a great night, everyone. Bye, guys.
Have a good night, you too.